I greatly appreciate anybody who's tuning in as we're heading into this Labor Day holiday. Apparently it's not going to show me the chat, which is just fantastic. Let's try that again. Nope. So I'm going to have to pull it up on my phone. Isn't that a shame? I can't see any of the chat on here. Hold on just one sec. This is some of the issues I talk about with YouTube from time to time. It's, does make things a tad bit difficult when it decides to be like this. So just a second so I can see anybody who's in. As we can see, XRP's approaching that 51-cent level now. Man, it feels so weird without that chat going. Sorry about that. I'm just getting this set up on my phone since apparently I can't see the chat tonight. Good old YouTube. But I greatly appreciate everybody tuning in. We got a lot to talk about. On just one second, let me go into the chat. A lot of chat going on. Codizer, welcome. And MC Prosperity, Mr. Anderson. I apologize if I miss anybody, but as you can see, it's not working on my screen. So it's an issue we have from time to time on YouTube. Rockin' Painter, welcome in. Miss Vicky Love, good evening. Terry, welcome in. Rob, Halo, Dean, good evening. Jorge, Nick, Corey, RHS, Shane, good evening. Welcome in from Australia, Melbourne. I'm surprised so many people are in here right now, to be honest with you. I wasn't expecting such a big crowd. Let me turn down, one thing I do notice on my screen, which is going to annoy everybody, let me turn down the brightness on my TV. The only reason I even have it on behind me, well, it's because I'm inside. Julie's sleeping. My son's still up, so I figured that'll make it a lot easier. But it has the charts behind you as well once it comes back on. But I figured it'd be, I should come on. I wanted to come on. I just haven't had a chance until now. But I figured my son is up, so I would do it inside since everybody else is asleep in the house. So right now with XRP, and we'll get into the intro here. But with XRP, we came back up within this pattern formation. We talked about if we had a rejection at 50 cents, it would signal a drop down about 10.6 or 10.8%. We did not get the rejection at 50 cents. We came back within it. And now we have a small formation that we can come up to continue this consolidation, which your top end potential in the short-term time frame would be up at 54 cents. But before I go any further, let me timestamp this. Good evening. 11:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, September 3rd, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I do thank everybody for tuning in. I hope everybody has a safe holiday for Labor Day tomorrow as we're enjoying this extended weekend. We do have a small movement in the futures market, but nothing, it's not going to be normal because we don't have the stock market open tomorrow. We still have like the DXY online right now, apparently. It's moving a little bit, but nothing major. So yeah, we're just going to have to watch this straddle a little bit. If anything, it could just weasel its way up a little bit, but it probably isn't going to do much here. We've got gold as well online, but again, not going to probably see much in those markets. For XRP, though, what we've printed in the 4-hourly, which makes it pretty interesting, is that it looks like we are printing these inverted hammers to me. And I know we can't see it on the screen when everybody's typing, but I do have my phone, so I can see all the chat. So see, I can see everybody's chat still going, so don't be afraid to comment. How many people did that say there was? 82 people in here already. Wow. Really, and I'm thinking here that we're going to have less people because I started at 11:47. 51 likes. Make sure to hit that like button as the only way to push this content because I don't do any kind of paid sponsorships, paid promotions, or paid advertising of any kind. I have no funding for basically pushing this content. So it's up to me, you, to share this to everybody, to hit that like button so that YouTube will have a reason to push me through the algorithm. But I have no marketing budget is what I'm trying to say. There's no revenue coming in that regard to push marketing. So we do this together. The fact we've achieved, now we're over 18,400 subscribers. Is that right? I didn't even notice that until just now. Wow, thank you everybody for pushing us over the next 100 here. So with the 4 hourly, I think we got some inverted hammer candles formed here. And the 3 hour or the 4 hourly, 3 in a row here, I believe. We'll pull up what an inverted hammer candle is, but that looks like 1, 2, 3. Basically, you've got a lot of top end pressure. Even though the price is coming down on these candles and you're not really breaking out, you're absorbing it, but each movement is pushing further up. The very low wicks up. These are actually very bullish patterns, and at least in the immediate short term, I know it doesn't seem like it, but in the immediate short term, so the inverted, just so everybody can get an idea of what an inverted hammer candle is. So first an image. So basically this is what you're getting. You get closing price, opening price, and you want to have a green inverted hammer candle, much more bullish than just a red, and closing a little more on the negative side. So the inverted hammer candle is exactly what it sounds like. It's the opposite of a hammer candle. So if you want to see the meaning of it real quick before we go back to the chart, because I want to. So it's a bullish reversal. Inverted hammer candlestick is a pattern that appears on a chart when there is a buyer's pressure for pushing the price of the stock upwards. This is a reversal candlestick pattern that appears at the bottom of a downtrend and signals a potential bullish reversal. So what does an inverted hammer candle, just so you can get a little bit more of a history, and then we're going back. So you kind of hear it a few times, then back to the charts. So what does an inverted candle mean? What is the inverted hammer candlestick pattern? The inverted hammer candlestick pattern, or an inverse hammer, is a candlestick that appears on a chart when there is pressure from buyers to push an asset price higher. It often appears at the bottom of a downtrend, signaling a potential bullish reversal. So that is the inverted hammer candle. Whoops. And I believe we've printed 3 straight hammer candles, inverted hammer candles off here in the 4-hour time frame. And I would love to hear if anybody else thinks otherwise. Don't be shy. I know that you're not going to get as much credit because the comments aren't coming through on the screen. Let's go through here real quick. Shane, 155 in Melbourne. Wow. Robert, thank you for the compliment. I greatly appreciate that. Go, girl. I totally need to be an XRP millionaire, but what about all these awful new rules, crypto crackdown in the USA? Yes, there is a lot of cracking down in the USA. I think a lot of it's optics. I think we'll be fine in the USA. Yes, we have a tough burden to bear right now. But I think this is the time when a lot of people are going to end up getting out. I honestly believe that. We'll get into this a little bit more, too. Go, girl. But thank you so much, love, for tuning in. I really appreciate that. John, thank you so much for the $1.90 donation. That was greatly, greatly appreciated. Very first donation of the night. Followed up by MC Prosperity. Thank you so much for the $20 donation. Certainly was not expecting this many people, for one, to be here this late, and two, to get 2 donations like that right off the bat. Wow. Thank you so much, MC Prosperity and John Artol. Greatly appreciate it. Very, very generous. Halo, no problem, my friend. I appreciate you tuning in. And thanks for the compliment. Shane, thank you very much. Love your insights, XRP, XT6. And we'll go over all 3 of those as well for you, Shane. And Go Girl, welcome in from Alberta. Nice. George, good evening. Matifi, welcome in. Loak Hoffman, good evening. Or good morning for you. Shane, welcome. Robert. I think that's everybody. I was just trying. Oh, Johnson, good evening. Around 8 o'clock. I was like, where's time? Yeah, it was a little bit later night tonight for me personally. A little busy, but I always make time for everybody here. Always make time for everybody here. Too bad this is giving me a little problems here. I might have to buy a new, hold on, I'm sorry about this. I'm trying to, I have this set up to where I don't have to hold this, but it seems to be giving me a little bit of an issue right now. Maybe it's getting worn out. What is going on here? John O'Toole, thank you so much for the $13.90. I do not know what currency that is, but I only say it by the dollar amount because it's all valued the same to me because it all is the same where it's coming from in your currency. And then MDF, thank you for the $20 donation as well. Wow, what a generous audience tonight. Seriously. And thank you for sending the stickers, John, as well. And yes, hit the like button like Miss Vicky said. 60 likes, 82 people watching. That is a tremendous amount of people tuning in. Sadu, welcome in. 6 a.m. in Germany. So maybe I am getting a different side of my audience because I'm on so late. This is interesting. ATK, your super chat did not pop up. I don't know what is going on with I don't know what's going on with YouTube. It didn't even, my YouTube, as you can see the comments, it's not even letting it work on my tablet tonight, which is weird. So I had to pull up my phone. Well, I mean, it's not weird. We've seen this a few times in the past. ATK, what did you send, by the way? Because it does not even show. Yeah, tell me what the receipt says so I can give you credit for it at least. $20. ATK, thank you for the $20. I greatly appreciate that. Wow, Trading with J-Ride with a $10 donation as well. You guys are very generous. Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you so much. Patrick Pearl, hey guys, there's a crypto from the UK called Power. You should look into it. It's high. It was over $2 Canadian. It's only 18 cents roughly right now. It's based on carbon credit. Ooh. That's actually an interesting one. Could you, Patrick, just so I don't forget, if you would be so kind, I put my email there. Would you send me an email with that one? The carbon credits are very interesting in this next chapter. And for anybody who doesn't know, basically you have corporations that buy carbon credits so that they can pollute. So, I mean, it's a big joke. But anyhow, so with these inverted hammer candles, hopefully everybody could see what I was talking about. So we should continue to move up here. This signals that we should be pushing up a little bit higher here. Especially because we didn't get rejected at the 50-cent psychological level. We talked about if we got rejected at 50 cents, we had a technical target down to about the 446 level. It's about a 10.6% drop. But we said if it came up and got on top of 50 cents, your first target would be to 524. But ultimately, we should probably roll back up to around this 539 level. And then we can look at the all-time chart if we were to get past this area. The all-time chart, we're just now breaking back in. We still haven't even got back to the bullish side of town. You have to get over about 51 cents, 51.05 on the all-time pattern. So just consider that we have technically not even come back to reverse this rally yet. And then once you get back in here, this is a better interpretation of what we got going on here. So you could still come up to, like it says on both charts, 54.5 cents. But right now, we still haven't come back within this formation. So I think we all have to be very, very aware of what's going on here. The fact that, yes, in the short term, we have come back within the short-term pattern, which was the ascending triangle. But in the even shorter time frame, we haven't even been able to validate or push back. But we are in a wider formation. That's why I said when we get back up in here, there's a little optics to be watched. But we should be okay because we should come back up here as well. And then both areas lead us to about 54 cents. John O'Toole, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, John. I really appreciate that. You messaged me the receipt. Oh, I trust you. I see it as well. Let's see. I wonder why it didn't. Definitely, I see it right now. $20 super chat. Thank you very much for that. I don't want to show what you sent because I don't know if it has anything you don't want anybody to see. Plus, I don't really like to show people's personal stuff just in case it has your real name or whatever on it. John, tell you more about XRP? Well, I mean, I'll tell you anything you want to know about XRP, but as of right now, I was just showing a short-term pattern. But when it comes to XRP as a whole, if you're holding XRP, my whole philosophy, and I've been more upfront about it, especially in the last few days, because I think words get minced. You're holding XRP not so you can sell out by your fiat. That's the whole point. If you're doing this, you're not selling it out for fiat. When you're in bear markets, the institutional investors, the smart money, the ones who have big portfolios, they're not swing trading this. They buy it and they consider it the accumulation phase, and then they will sell it when it gets back into a bull market. Right now, just the up and down, the swing trading, it actually compounds a tax bill, 35% in the USA. I don't know in your native countries or your individual countries, I should say, it can be slightly varying, but it really compounds. I've heard the horror stories and I've went through it myself, from having big profits in 2021, selling inside of a year because I recognized the bull market was ending. It doesn't matter. You're still paying for it. But with XRP, I firmly believe you're not buying it for today. The only reason it matters today with the chart and the price action is because we're trying to get opportunity. And that opportunity by watching the charts allowed us to know we could sell out in 2021. But right now, to buy in now and to sell it here, I think it's a huge mistake. I think it's a huge mistake to not continue accumulating not just XRP, but your favorite ISO and Internet of Things tokens, but especially XRP, as that's why I'm here on the station, and that's why all of you watch me. Yes, I have good ideas with precious metals and everything else, as I believe it's a 2-to-1. You should have crypto and precious metals, as those are two forms of money in the new world and now. But you want to have as many payment processors as possible. You want to be your own central bank. So XRP right now, this 51 cent area, this is where we're trying to get back above in the immediate short term. Even though this is the all-time pattern, this is a smaller chart. This is a smaller time frame that started August 17th, and we're trying to finish out this pattern formation. And once it finishes, typically you dump, assuming we can't get to the top side and then rally out. But in the immediate short term, we're well back within the ascending triangle now. And we very well could come down to see if we can hold support. But in the 4-hourly, we were printing 3 in a row. We printed these inverted hammer candles, they look like to me. Varying levels, but these all 3 look like inverted hammer candles, which leads me to believe, even though the sellers did pull it back down on these candles, that tells you the buyers still have more pressure and the sellers couldn't bring us back through. The inverted hammer candle is actually a very bullish pattern formation. It's a bullish reversal at the levels that it's showing, and you've had a few of these in a row now. If we pull off more and more of these, we're just going to eventually finish out this pattern, and we'll meet at 524 or 54 cents. The reason why I think 54 cents and not that pivot of the 200-day and the daily would end up holding, and I know the daily 200-day, if we just go into the daily, we can see it, but that's right at that 5246. But we're going to come up here, and I think we'll push through this real quick. We do have the death cross looming here. And then the bottom of this pattern's at about 54 cents. We could have an overzealous run-up, too, because we do know the short-term pattern we created, if we got back up in here, could bring you slightly higher. Obviously, 54 is closer. But if we came to this top resistance, here, let me put this properly. You could come in here still. I know that's way over there, but you just want to have it transparent. So, I mean, that's what I'm seeing for XRP. These 4-hour candles look good, though. When you have these inverted hammer candles, this shows you we have more leg up still. Typically. Obviously, you can't just say, oh, we have an inverted hammer candle, and now it's just, that's a bullish reversal, and the hell with it, it's over. You can't have that mindset. But what you can tell yourself is we're looking better than not here for a small reversal on Labor Day. Small. I'm not talking about a huge bullish reversal. Now, if you get on top of the 200-day and we're on top of 56 cents, then I'll be like, okay. Maybe we can start talking here about something. But even then, you still leave a lot to be desired because you'd have to get back over the short term about 57 cents to start moving up. And then in the weekly, the one thing that we have to acknowledge, that golden cross, like I've stated, we haven't given that up yet. Even now where we close this week, look how much room we have to spare still. We can close multiple weeks. This actually is a nice consolidation. And for that golden cross, that's only happened, this is the 3rd time in its history. Some say the 2nd. I disagree because I went back farther in the pattern, and sure, I had to go into the daily to decipher it to make it look right and so I could get the right numbers in the weekly. But I deciphered the first time it actually happened back here. Even though in the weekly you won't see it, just going back with my own numbers, we showed the daily, we've showed it many times. The weekly also has that big crossing and momentum here. So the first time I think was there, followed up by like an 80% correction. You had a second time here when it first happened, followed by a 60% plus correction. And now the third time it happened right here. And if you don't know what a golden cross is, that's, if you're using the exponential moving averages, that's the 20-day, which is that red line, coming through the dark blue line, which is the 200-day. This is the third instance it's ever happened. And now we've come down about 54% at the swing low. So the question is do we come down to the 2020 uptrend and get down about 60, 61% and do exactly what the first two did? Because the first two times we completely belly upped. We came right through that formation and it looked like it was over just for like 2 or 3 weekly candles later for us to have 100 to 2 to 300% rises in the next formation. And those formations finished within a month, each of them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Do we have higher ambitions? Can we hold these trend lines? Right now, as we know, we started these small rising channels. Started early the year, January of 23 on the uptrend. The uptrending support, uptrending resistance started about October 22, roughly. And this is the actual formation we're in the last year, basically. About 8 to 12 months, depending on how you look at this. But from up here, it's about 12 months. We've been in this formation. It's a rising channel, which means you're squeezed and we have a pattern formation where besides the wicks up, we really only have a range. Not only, but it's a 27.3% range, which means if you're a leverage trader at any given time, you know what that means. A 3x or higher, you're done on that range. Done. So I don't like leverage trading. One, the tax implications. Every time you sell the leverage trade, that short-term capital gains tax, it adds up, adds up, adds up. And before you know it, how many people have made a bunch of money and you just keep investing it and then you just don't have any money at tax time? I mean, some people have never went into this experience, but I believe we have a rude awakening coming, especially with the new tax laws. A lot of people haven't been doing their taxes when it comes to crypto. Starting in 2025, good luck with that. Even this year, some will try to skate on it. Even 2024, I'll say, okay. But the real laws kick in 2025. So if you try to do it in 2025, I don't even advise you do it now. Just, I know it's criminal. I know everybody tells me everything, yada, yada, yada. I get it. But until otherwise, I'm not going to tempt fate. Wow, ATK, thank you so much for the $20 donation. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. And it actually showed up this time, so that makes me happier that it did. I appreciate that, ATK. You certainly do not ever give up. It's one good thing about this audience. We have an audience that doesn't, we don't wave. What the hell is the right word? I guess we don't give up, like you said. I can't believe that YouTube is like, I consider this shadow banning when they do this. My tablet allows you to see the comments, as everybody knows who's been tuning into the lives for months and years now. Last one got canceled. That's okay. At least it sent it up to this one. Justin, we don't waver. Yes. That's it. We don't waver. I don't know why it wouldn't come up. But we don't waver, damn it. We don't waver. And we don't play the victim in this community. We play the winner, which is the best feeling because we don't make excuses. And the ones who do, we know we have a lot to learn. We like to keep it positive over negative in here. Positivity shines supreme. I can speak from personal experience, even when I had a down moment a couple weeks ago. That not showing 100% positivity and the loving and all that, it does play into the audience. Man, this is lighting up down below me. You guys are all being very generous tonight. Like, wow. I don't even remember the last time so many people donated in one stream. Do you miss Vicky? Screen is blurry. Can I please say the numbers? Is it really blurry? It should be crystal clear. I'll be disappointed if it's blurry. I know it looks pretty good on my tablet. All right, hold on. Let me go through real quick because I have to say thank you to everybody who's being very generous tonight, like super generous. MDF, thank you for the $20 match. ATK's $20. And then ATK with $20 and says okay. So you guys went bam, bam, bam. Thank you all. So like that deserves a thank you all for supporting my work. Like I don't even know what to say sometimes. Screen blurry. Can you please say the numbers, not just oh yeah, I got you. Some people's screens might not look the same because I don't know kind of. So right here. So looking at the numbers, it's hard though not to just say the numbers because I know that stupid X it sucks. So what we're looking at here, go girl. I think that's who said that. Yeah, go girl. So when we're coming up here, let me get rid of this. Sometimes my stuff is gets in my way. What can I say? So right in here, go girl. We have this uptrending support right here that's about 501. We came back up here. We call it the 50-cent psychological level. It was relevant because the ascending triangle resistance ended up being right here when we fell through. It's actually the support, but if it was used as resistance, we would have fell down here, which would have made it 447, 446, depending on when you hit. And then if you lost that, you have the swing low below it at 436. If you lost that, then you go to the 2020 uptrend at 38 cents. That's just what happens if you go down there. However, we came back up in here. We've got the 524, which is the 200-day in the daily. That's the 200-day in the daily. We're in the 4-hour time frame, but this blue line in the daily is right here. That's your signal whether or not you have a full-blown reversal here to the downside if we get rejected there. And yeah, you can have an overzealous run up to 54 cents. We acknowledge that. But this is where you're looking for a firm rejection. So if we go into the daily to confirm what I'm saying, that's the 200-day right here, this line. And it's right here on here. It's still staying at 524. It's been there for quite some time. You've had the 20 come through the 50 and the 100. This is a bearish cross right now. Once it comes through the 200, it's a death cross. Once you have the death cross and rejection, that shows a short-term trend reversal. The only thing holding us up from here would be the weekly golden cross. And you really don't want to be tempting fate by coming down there too often. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know, was that a little bit clear? Was that a little bit easier to understand? And then if we go into the all-time chart, I have a shorter time frame from just the wick low back up to the next support, from the wick high to the next resistance, and now it's converging. And we haven't even been able to get back up in here, but this still also shows that we should be able to come up, especially on a thinly traded weekend here. More than likely, we should be able to come up to that 53.8, but now pay attention here. Remember the 524? The 200-day. Even though I don't have it listed, that's the 200-day. So that can be a rejection in there before it gets up there, but it almost seems not to be any point to go in there without making an overzealous run-up. It doesn't have to. But just like we waited for that last drop, we had to come in here. Now this drop, we're kind of waiting for a retest of that 200-day. You always want to have the retest. Always want to have the retest. Gavin, welcome in. Change your screen quality. Change my screen quality to 720. I prefer not to go into 720. Is it really that bad right now? Oh, I was gonna say. Oh, and if you're on it too, maybe it's not on 1080. Sometimes it doesn't do automatic. So a lot of times you have to switch it to 1080 yourself to match my quality. Because for some reason, I guess a lot of people don't upload it in 1080. I've noticed it's a lot easier to do it in 720, let's say, for YouTube. But I refuse to do it in 720. I like doing it in the highest quality I can. I see what you're saying. Thank you, Jay, and thank you, everybody who responded. I was just making sure. And hopefully, too, I made this circle a little bit bigger so everybody could see me a little bit clearer. Hopefully that makes a big difference because I noticed just looking at it, it's a lot easier to see everything I'm trying to do here now. You can see more than just like, I think it gives you a little more than just a claustrophobic feel. I'm not as claustrophobic in here. I got a lot more room. My head feels a lot less confined now. You know, it's kind of hard to sit in a circle like that. It's kind of like a neck brace. Anyhow, That's XRP. And then I wanted to do XLM XDC real quick. So XLM is already having a nice little move here. It's kind of front running what we're thinking XRP is going to do. See the daily? We've pushed up, we broke through what looked like a bearish candle here, kind of. I mean, I guess it's so hard to say what that really is, but we had a nice reversal candle to follow it up. We're up to the 200-day resistance or the 20-day resistance in the daily. You very well could come up here to that 12.5 area on this thinly traded weekend. We came through the mid-tier support, so now we'll see if we can be supported on an 11.9 bounce. And an 11.9 bounce, maybe we won't even come down there. But if we do consolidate, as long as we hold this 11.9, you should have eyes for up here to see if we're very bearish or not. The other thing is if we bounce out of these areas with a little bit of liquidity, it could prove a short-term reversal here. But we still have major resistance here. That's your major resistance with XLM right now, so just pay attention to that. On the breakdown out of this pattern from right here, it would get you to about there. If we do work it all the way to here, we should probably do it by the trend line. And that gets you to about 878 if you work this all the way through. So just pay attention to that with XLM. If you work it up and you break out of this, first layer resists 13.2, but you should be able to get the 14.1 if you break this and hold support. I'm not sure that's going to happen. So just be cautious here. Because like XRP, XLM was working on trying to push towards that death cross here, but it was being supported on the 200, as to where XRP is trying to be resisted right now on the 200 in the daily. So that's your big difference between XRP and XLM. XDC, we almost look like we're trying to lower the flag here, unfortunately. I know it came up and it looks like a bullfight. This almost looks like it's raising the flag in the daily. 4 hourly doesn't look great. We are still holding that 575 level, which that's our major pivot level. Once you lose that, it could be issues. But on a thinly traded weekend, you never know. Just watch the 575. Once you lose that, you got the swing, this little area here, but is that really going to hold? I don't think so. It could, but once you lose this area, you're more than likely going to have a big crash back down to about 4 or 5. I know it's not like massive, but this would prove a right arm if it ends up finishing this formation. And that's not going to be a very pretty drop. If you already look at this, if we want to just add on to this pattern, I know I've been hesitant to do it until we finish this formation, but now it's a little critical. Now it's a little critical because this could very well be your rejection point. So no reason not to have this uptrend so everybody can see. So that's what you're dealing with XDC. If you get rejected there, you got a problem. Even if you squeeze through here, I don't want anybody to have the false hope if it comes boom, and then all of a sudden you consolidate and bam. You could do something like that in form. It's what XRP kind of did just now as well. And now we're doing the consolidation back up to see it with XRP if we're overly bearish. I mean, you could draw this a million different ways if you want. I personally, with that uptrend, all I would care about, I'm not too worried about this area. I'm just worried about this area, and we'll pull it across, and then you'll see how this formation ended up giving way so far. So then if you're by yourself and you want to draw your stuff, I'm going wick to wick because I want to see the top end. So and then you look at the formation. We can overrun the uptrend because that uptrend's the uptrend. But I'll pull it back just so it looks more uniformed. But that's what we're looking at here. So the fact we broke down here, instead of breaking out, this very well could tell us we're getting ready to come down with XDC. 575 is a very important pivot level. 200 days just below it as well. So if that breaks down, your likely area you'd come down to, and I know it's unfortunate, but if you give away the 20-day in the daily and you're coming down for a correction to see if it holds, it's going to line up perfectly with 4 or 5. So just pay attention to that with that. HBAR, as we know, had a big drop-off. We talked about once it lost that 575, there's nothing until 4.9, and that's exactly how it played out. So, and now if we lose 4.9, it's nothing to be afraid of. We've been down there before. You come down to next tier, we'll be back down at 375, and for some who might not have HBAR, who might be looking to add to HBAR, you start to break through these formations. Now you start to look at a little bit better opportunity, but it's so hard to tell with HBAR because you could be working on a very long uptrend here when it starts coming through here. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. We've talked about this, but I don't really want to crowd up this chart because I like the way it's tiered. But this is technically your next thing right here. You could technically hold there in the shorter time frame. So just consider that if we don't want to go all the way down. Let me and I like to do this so that we can get kind of like a fan system. I call this the fan setup. So that's just how we're looking there. So what else do we have? I think that's it. I think that's it with all the random. 93 of you that continued to watch this update or this live, I greatly appreciate it. It's 12:25 a.m. now. Wow, does the time fly? I'm not getting off yet. I'm gonna if it's legal where you're at, if you smoke cannabis, I invite you to join me. I'm gonna grab this ashtray that's right over here, but I invite everybody to join me if you would like. Let me know in the comments if you are going to join me. We'll look at the XRP market cap, which is up 1.42% on the day, up to 27.12 billion, or up 380.91 million. But first, we'll look at Bitcoin, which is up 0.12% or 31 bucks, and just over that 26,000 threshold. You know, it's nice to be wearing this hat. This is the 2018 men's basketball Big Ten champions. They're not very good anymore, but at one point they were pretty good. John, thank you for the $3.50 and the smiley the smiley slash whatever it is. The happy face. Bandit smoking it hot. Hell yeah. Rob, Tom, you're the smartest guy. I appreciate that. I think there's a few that are smarter, but I definitely think I hold my own. Trading with J-Ride. Algo, we can certainly look at Algo very quickly as we are owners of Algo. We're 50% through our stack right now. We've got 5,000 tokens approximately. We're trying to get to 10. We do it on Winning Wednesdays. Doesn't cost you anything except to your portfolio if you want to buy $75 a week while we're doing it in this formation. We've been very fortunate to buy it in this exact formation right here, nothing up here. But we've been able to buy this formation. So we're hoping, we're watching, and we're assuming, based on what we're seeing, that it's going to continue a downward trajectory. In the immediate short term, we should come up and touch the 200-day here, though, on this thinly traded weekend. So I think we have a little bit of opportunity. And let's just say you're a leverage trader, which I don't advise it. I hate it. But, I mean, there could be a little opportunity here. But that's the thing. What happens on Monday night or early Tuesday when the thinly traded weekend ends, and we go into a full-blown market trading day on Tuesday after a holiday weekend? Anybody who has profits might be looking for a quick exit, but we also have to see how the U.S. dollar plays. I'm just simply blown away by how many people are in here. At this time, I'm just stunned. So with Algorand, though, we're in this descending triangle. It's a two-tier setup, but I think it's appropriate. I like to have this downtrend from over here in case we fall down, but in the current formation, we've got this right here, but there's also a way, if you do it like this, which you can come through like this, and it actually validates that other downtrend that we could end up within there. So, I mean, if we start looking at this, we're in a weird spot right now. It's almost like we could say we formed a weird channel here. Like if we took away the descending triangle part of this and just said, you know what, no. And that's what I think I'm going to do. Because I think a lot of them have started doing this, and they're revealing this little channel that ended up forming. I think we could say that that actually happened. And if we take this away, you could actually pull this out and ride it. And this is a channel that formed. I'm almost positive. I mean, I don't know, anybody have a disagreement here with that, with Algo? But I'm pretty sure we could look at that as a channel, because these are overzealous wicks, what came up to the top of this resistance, which that's the bear flag. If you do it like that, higher up. But I'm talking about just the way it's coming down. This almost looks like a channel formed. Support, resistance, resistance, overzealous, back down to support, resistance, resistance, staying within resistance. So that downtrending resistance is killing the price. This downtrending support is stabilizing the price every time it hits it. So I think that's what's going on. Trading with J-Ride, that's what you're seeing. Excellent. ATK, thank you for that. Why I'm the buy, thank you for that. Rob, never miss a show. Love it. I appreciate that. You know, if there's one thing that I never question, is the genuineness of this audience. That's one thing I've come to love and appreciate. Like the genuineness. It took a while for us to get here. It really did. Gala Games, as you know, we've got 2,500 tokens as it broke down right now. But it's at a tremendous buy right now. But it could be an even bigger buy, as we talked about. This could become an even bigger buy. So we're going to see what happens here. We're going to see how this trend is forming here, because this could end up being a spectacular. Remember what we talked about when we first looked at this yesterday? Wait a minute. On FOMO Friday, so 2 days ago. Remember we talked about this exact formation if it broke down? I think we're going to get it down there possibly. So everybody eat your heart out. If we get to buy this the second time even cheaper, we got this 99% off on the first buy. We spent $50 and got 2,500 tokens. Do you know how much it would have cost you to get 2,500 tokens? Anywhere? Even up here? That would have cost more than $50. But I'm talking especially when it got up to 89-cent area. It's a big difference. You're talking about spending like $2,000 compared to 50. Well, not $2,000. I don't think it was two. 10,000 tokens at 80 cents would be $8,000. So 2,500 would be 1/4. Yeah, that's like $2,000. That's like $2,000. What it would have cost you there to buy 2,500 tokens. Now it's $50. I mean, it puts it in perspective. Just what we've done here. And I know a lot of people will leave because we're not talking about XRP as much. But hey, I think we have to talk about everything. That's how we know all the prices. Bitcoin looks like what we talked about yesterday. We should have a retest up here. Looks like we're setting up for that retest possibly. Because we had the death cross, so we're going to confirm the resistance, it looks like. I don't know if anybody's leaving because I haven't checked in a while, but I'm just saying. That's usually what happens. Sorry, everybody. I'm trying to catch up on the comments. As you know, it's making my life difficult because it's not showing it on the screen tonight. As I say, YouTube is shadow banning our comments. Okay. I apologize, everybody. It's just very hard for me to see everything. There's a lot of comments. But I mean, like with Gala, the metaverse is big with Gala. But we're going to Gala another day, the utility and everything with it. But Gala Games, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's kind of like what I talked about with Zaliqua. There's a few of them in the meme sphere when it comes to the AI and the gaming and that sector that is going to take it by storm, and that's one of them that doesn't get enough recognition at all. I'm just thankful Miss Vicky kept bringing it up to where it opened my eyes. This one, hold on, I can tell you that actually. Okay. So this one's called Marshmallow OG. Probably somebody just naming it, but I definitely like to get OG if I can. If it's mixed in it, I usually won't say no. Just if you're ever going to get cannabis and you don't know what you're doing, if you ever see a Kush, generally you just take the Kush. Kush is technically supposed to be the most premium. So if you're in a dispensary and you're like, I got a choice between this Kush and this other stuff and it's the same price, you generally go with the Kush as long as the person knows how to grow it. Or for that matter, outside. I got a spectacular Kush plant growing outside that I haven't shown any of you yet, but I've topped this thing probably 10, 11 times. It's got probably 10, 11, 13, 15 heads. I don't know. But it's starting to get bud on it right now, so it's starting to look beautiful. Hey, thank you, Rob. I greatly appreciate that support. I love you being here. I've noticed you in here a lot over the past, especially in the recent past as well, though. That means a lot because when we're in a downtrend, a lot of people tend to not pay attention. Ooh, New York Sour Diesel ATK. I'm jealous. Jealous. Even though I think some of you would be jealous of this, this actually tastes pretty good. First time I ever had this kind. Devin, appreciate that. I bought all my Gala today, 10,000 tokens. Yeah, it's only 100 and for 10,000 tokens, it would cost you about 170 bucks right now. It's crazy. If you think about that, that's crazy. Because 10,000 tokens at its all-time high was over 8,000. Think about that. So, can you make generational wealth, even if it goes down 50% on you, you only spent less than 200 bucks. Is transformational wealth, is generational wealth made by spending $200 on 10,000 tokens on Gala, or if you bought $8,000 worth for 10,000 tokens? Where's the real value at? Where's opportunity? I remember a lot of people asked me about Gala, and I said I will buy it when the time is right. And I just didn't realize we were bouncing into the perfect time because I haven't watched it in a while because I knew it was going to take time. And I said it's not one of the ones that I have to watch every day because I'm the XRP Future Millionaire. I can't watch it with everybody every day, but now I can. You know why? It's in the community portfolio now. Everything I own, the community owns. If you're paying attention, because what everybody else charges for to get their portfolio information, remember, this isn't behind a paywall. I guarantee anybody else you watch, if they're telling you about their portfolio, you got to pay for that information, especially the buys. That's where they make the big bucks. Oh, I know how the game works. I just don't participate in it. That's my biggest problem in life and my biggest gift. I stand on my own 2 feet, and I don't like to take the easy way out. XRP, I mean, look, we have this little push-up since even we started. Now we should be over. Remember, we've talked about this inverted hammer candle in the 4-hourlies. It looks like we're setting up an inverted hammer candle on this daily, which means, like I was saying, we're probably going to have a more bullish Labor Day weekend, or Labor Day tomorrow. You know, Labor Day is sad a little bit for me and Julie because we used to go up to Mackinac Island every single year to St. Ignace, and we would camp until our accident. And now we haven't been able to do it since 2019. But, you know, things work out as they should. Now I'm here doing this with all of you. And we wait for her impending surgery on the 20th, which happens to be my sister's birthday, ironically. But the good news, though, is I start coaching football. I know I haven't really talked about it, but next Sunday I start coaching my nephew's football team. It's just flag football right now, but that should be fun. Just keeping everybody up to date. Oh, is there drama with Gala? Good time for drama. I like seeing drama right when we're starting our buying opportunities. We still got 75% to go. Not saying $50 on each buy would be a lot, but, you know, if we can close it out cheaper. Because like I said, I'm not looking to, a lot of them, 10,000 tokens, I'm good. Told myself a long time ago, you get 10,000 on what you want, and you're going to be okay. Sometimes 10,000 tokens doesn't seem like a lot when the prices are cheap in bear markets, but it seems like a lot when it's not in a bear market. Like XRP right now, 10,000 tokens is 5,000, 5,100. In the bull market, it was 19,000, 16,000, 14,000 at a zero. That's the big difference. That's what I think we always forget. What we're buying now, we can buy 10 different tokens for the same price of just buying XRP in the bull market. When you put it in perspective, it really does help your brain work. It does, trust me. Wedding cake is pretty freaking cool. And the cool thing about wedding cake, and we're not talking about a wedding cake, we're talking about a wedding cake. A wedding cake, well, the strand wedding cake, it's got a lot of CBD in it. So not just the THC, but you're getting a body buzz as well with the wedding cake. It's not actually, unless it's crossbreeded with something better, it's not typically a high THC producer. And if you find one that is a high THC producer, they're probably telling you the wrong strand. Wedding cake is synonymous for high CBD, cannabinoids. Oh, yes, mandolin knows 3% CBD. And the weird thing is that gives you a weird element because when you're not getting as big of a head high, so what I do with wedding cake is I usually mix it with the THC strand, one that's higher in THC, because that wedding cake gives you one of the nicest body buzzes I've ever had from a cannabis strand, outside of a hash plant. Mine and Julie, one of our personal favorites, is the wedding cake. It's just you don't get a big head rush, which is fine. It's just sometimes it can be a little overwhelming when your body is how your head normally feels, but your body feels like it, and your head's like, well, what the fuck? I'm hitting the cannabis, but I don't feel shit. But my body is tickling and numb and tingling. But that's a good thing. Bubble bath has been your tea lately. Interesting. Crypto Roger, that's why I'm mixing it with pineapple express. Ooh, that's a great mix. ATK, I gotta put the little ones to bed. Love you all time for all what you. Oh, thank you, ATK, and thank you so much for the generosity tonight as well. Greatly appreciate it. I know we're winding down this stream as well. It's been 51 minutes. It's almost 1 a.m. I can't believe that. I can't believe. How have we already been here 51 minutes? That's insanity. I do know we're going to be here at least 10 more minutes because I'm still relaxing with everybody, and I tend to talk. And I'm surprised 92 of you stuck it out. I just can't believe how many people are here. I really thought today, oh, maybe 30, 40 people because it's holiday weekend. But a lot of you say I'm more loved than I think, and I'm pretty sure I know that's the case now. I'm very stubborn in my head. But I definitely realize something's going on here. Even I can't disagree that this audience is something special. So right now we're looking to break that previous 4-hour candle. We're basically there. And this candle just started too. 44 minutes ago. So basically we're trying to break that old resistance. I mean, it looks like we're all but guaranteeing a run-up tomorrow. We don't think it's going to be a massive run-up. But now we're going to have another signal crossing, which is the golden cross in the 30. What a beautiful time to come on today. See, we were meant to talk right now. Still, I know, ATK, it's crazy that so many people stuck it out. Still can't believe it. Roland, thank you very much. Look it up. Bubble bath has my... Bubble bath? Is it like, is that a cannabis? What is it? Bubble bath, what is it, like a CBD? I would assume. Ugh. My cat wants food. Hold on. And as you guys know, my cat thinks that it's allowed to do whatever it wants, so it stays outside and then comes in, but mostly stays outside. Don't ask me. It's been doing it for 6 years. The first 2 years, I wouldn't let it outside, or what is it, 4 years now. If you guys only knew how much stuff I do at the same time, you'd probably want to bash your own head through the wall. I literally do like 7,000 things at the same time. I was I was graced with the gift of multitasking from a very young age. It only got stronger because when my parents got divorced, I had to basically raise my brother and sister from like 10 years old, watching them when I was 10, they were 8 and 6. But in summer vacation, I had to watch them. So, it made you think. Anyhow, I digress. So XRP right now is looking pretty strong for this little rally for the holiday weekend. Not strong overall because we have that pending death cross as we've talked about. But getting back in this formation, assuming we don't get rejected, could give us a Labor Day rally to about 54 cents. Even in the shorter time frame, it's showing us the same thing. We're firmly within here now. But you're looking at this 54-cent area. Except when I am riding a bike. Yes, I did not have good luck on the bike. That's for sure. Yes, Mandolina, hit the like button. It is free, I agree. And it only does take a second. Terry says, I am so old, if my body started to tingle and shake, I would get free. This hits for you, Terry. John, our tall purple iris, good too. Indeed. Oh, wait a minute. That's what we were looking at. This would be good for me. Am I looking at the right thing here? I'm assuming I am. Man, I'm really liking the comments here right now. Sorry, I just wanted to... All right, I've got this up now. At least now I've got it saved. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. Okay, you're talking about the flower. That's what I was wondering. Hey, but that still looks good to me. Bubble. Excuse me. No, not a flower. Can't. I like how they have Dr. Teals. See, there's a nice big difference there. So, if you're looking for it, I mean, this one in the middle that this would probably be a superior strand right here, just based on the way it looks. The rest of it all looks almost the same. You see a lot more crystals and trichome development there, a lot more. That would be good for your medicinal stuff, like if you're making oils and stuff. Look at these red hairs, or orange hairs. That looks nice. Yeah, I'm definitely like that. Everybody knows our routine. They know when we're winding down. You see this? I love it when I say I'm leaving. I should never say I'm going to leave soon because then everybody just leaves. No, there's still 75 people. So what do we think is going to happen here for everybody who's sticking it out until the bittersweet end? Do we think we're going to have this little rally up to 54 cents now? As we have to look at XRP market cap just very quickly. We're coming up to our first major resistance area. So we're going to know if we're coming up to 51 or 54 cents or if 52.4 cents is a resistance or 52.5 if we get rejected at 27.3 billion. That's how you know. If you get rejected at 27.3 billion, XRP gets rejected at 52.5 approximately. If you do make it up into this area at 28.2, that means XRP is up to 54 cents. Rob, I appreciate that. 24/7. Miss Vicky says you do think it's going to go to 54 cents. I tend to agree. Yep, Terry, exactly what I'm thinking it looks like. Unless we see something otherwise by some surprising volume that comes in, I don't see any other option here. Um, Patrick, family is important. No worries. Prayers sent for great outcome for surgery. I appreciate that, Patrick. Thank you so much. Amen to that. Roland, yep, my nephew grows it right now in Clark, California. Man, too bad I'm not in California. Otherwise, I would support your cousin. It's a nice looking strain. Patrick Puffin V10 or Bio campaign. Either way. Half the time I feel like they just name it whatever they want. Because I've grown a lot of this when it first became legal, medical marijuana in Michigan. And now it's federal, it's not federally, but it's statewide legal. You don't need a card. But from what I used to grow, because I used to order the seeds from like Amsterdam and just other parts of the world, the European side and Asian side and just that side. And the seeds that I would get would blow away anything that I've. The only thing I ever got good from Michigan, which is a lot of good stuff, but I used to get clones back in the day. And I got OG Purple Kush, still hands down the best anything OG or purple I've ever smoked in my life. And people say DJ Shorts and all this other stuff. You can't even compare that to what this stuff was like. This stuff literally had you cemented to the wall. Up until I smoked this particular batch of Girl Scout cookies, this was one of the strongest things I've ever smoked. And then obviously I had hash plants that I grew, and then that shit was like, oh my God, this is just different. I had a California hash plant clone one time, and I remember the way it grew. I'm like, oh my God. And you're talking we had to grow it in the basement. Actually, my uncle's house, my cousin's parents' basement before he moved out. Because I was living in an apartment, so I couldn't do that. And then before that, my dad was not, he wasn't going to let us do that. Oh, man, Roland. Oh, you know, somebody, honestly, I kid you not, one time, somebody asked me for my address, and it's somebody I knew and I trusted. They're like, I'm not going to tell you what's going to show up one day. Fucking 2/8 of marijuana showed up at my front door. I kid you not. Somebody shipped it through the mail from like cross country. I don't advise this from anybody because I'm still shocked to this day somebody did it. Somebody sent me alcohol too one time. Liquor just showed up at my house. I'm like, what the hell is this? And some of you know, remember when we were doing Twitch because YouTube was pissing me off because of the comments? Is Gemini a good exchange? I personally, the only ones I like to use, and I'll be honest with you, Uphold, I like. Femex, I like. BitGet and Mexi, I loved as well. But in the USA, new users can't use it. So I like Femex. I like Uphold. But, you know, in the days to come, I will be speaking of a revelation I've had. And something I've done. But it's not, today's not the right time. I'll keep you on a cliffhanger. XRP is down 0.50. Probably we'll see more, but definitely will go up to 52 cents, guys. Oh, yeah, I think it's going to as well. That's what we talked about. It might even go higher than 52. 52.4, or I think the more likely scenario, if we can break into here, is 54 cents probably, if we're looking for a further rejection. But we could have the 524 that we have to be aware of. But everybody, I got to call it a night. I got to go see what my son's doing because he might be about to fall asleep here. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Happy Labor Day to everybody. We did an hour and 4 minutes, and I'm thrilled that we did. Stay blessed, everybody, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Well, today, as it turns out. Stay blessed. Remember, we're the light, and the world's surrounded by a whole lot of darkness. So your positivity can be the difference between somebody's good, somebody's bad, somebody's happy, somebody's sad. It's like in the comments here. You don't know what somebody's dealing with, so be happy. Be happy. Have a good night, everybody.